I wake up at the same time every day. I meditate, I eat healthy foods, I read, train, work on my business. I hardly use social media, I go to bed early, and I repeat my meals most days. I don't watch much TV, I journal, I do yoga, walk the dogs. And yes, most people would call this boring, but the truth is I've never felt more alive. And so I want to share with you 3 reasons why living a simple, boring life can actually be beautiful, fulfilling, and why I chose this lifestyle on purpose. Number 1, the scarcity brain. We live in a world of abundance. We have access to endless types of food, infinite entertainment, social media, streaming platforms, and with the click of a button, we can have virtually anything we want whenever we want it. And yet, in a world overflowing with opportunities and pleasure, why is it that so many more people are becoming sick, depressed, unhealthy, anxious, and more unfilled than ever before? Physical diseases like obesity and metabolic illnesses are on the rise. Mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and burnout are everywhere. And spiritually, many people feel lost, without purpose, meaning, or fulfillment. I believe the root cause of this is what I call scarcity brain. You see, our brains evolved in a world of scarcity, where our ancestors had to hunt, gather, and fight in order to survive. And so their brains were wired to seek out calories, comfort, safety, and status whenever possible. And so the problem is that we still have that same primal brain, but we now live in a world of extreme abundance. We no longer need to hunt, walk for miles, or build shelters just to survive. And whilst that's a good thing, it creates other problems. We struggle to say no to chocolate cake. We can't stop scrolling on our phones. We skip workouts because they feel too hard, and we can't focus because we're constantly distracted. And I'm saying this because I've experienced it. For a long time I had goals, but I rarely took action. I was constantly distracted, low energy, and I never felt satisfied with my life. Most days it felt like my mind and my body were just running on autopilot, and my self-esteem dropped because I didn't like the person who I was becoming. And that's what happens when our scarcity brain is trapped in a world of endless temptations. It pushes us towards overconsumption, addiction, and a constant sense of dissatisfaction, no matter how much we have. And so this is why I chose to live a simple, boring life, and I intentionally removed many of these temptations. Not because I hate pleasure, but because I refuse to let it control my life. We are designed to move our bodies, to eat whole real foods, to connect deeply with one another, to focus on meaningful work and spend time outside. We weren't created to scroll endlessly, binge fast food every day, and live in constant distraction. And so when our basic human needs don't get met, our bodies and minds become restless, anxious, and sick. And so for me, choosing a simple life isn't about missing out, but it's about reclaiming your freedom. You reclaim your health, your peace of mind, and you are in control of your life, not your impulses, your distractions, or your cravings. And by the way, if you have noticed that your phone has taken over your life and you're tired of wasting all your time, then click the link below to learn how to cut your screen time by 50% or more in less than 30 days and reclaim 20 plus hours every week so that you can get your life back. Now, the second reason I choose a boring life is because I believe human beings are creators, not consumers. Take a look around at your environment for a second. Notice the laptop you're watching this on, or your phone. Look at the walls around you, the windows, the books in your room, the clothes you're wearing, the cars on the street, the buildings that you can see, even the food that you're eating. Every single one of these things first started as an idea in someone's mind before it became a physical object. Like really, just think about this for a second. Everything in our physical world is the manifestation of a thought that someone chose to bring into reality. Like, is that not mind-blowing and incredible to think about? And so this tells us something very important, which is that human beings are creators. We were made to create ideas, experiences, solutions, and meaning. But somewhere along the way, most of us stopped creating and started to only consume. It's now completely normal for most people to spend their day in front of a screen, filling their minds with constant junk. But when we're constantly consuming, there's no space to think. No space to reflect, no space to connect to ourselves. And over time, this excessive consumption causes us to start living the way the world wants us to. Our mind becomes cluttered and distracted. focusing on things becomes harder to do. And whether we realize it or not, this affects every area of our lives. I definitely notice that when I consume more content, my thoughts become more disorganized and distracted. And I start thinking about things that I don't even really care about just because it's being pushed to me in front of a screen. I also might sit down with a clear plan to focus on something, but my attention jumps from one task to the other. And so it becomes harder to organize my thoughts or produce good quality work because I just can't focus. And I notice it affects my presence. I can't enjoy the moment or appreciate what's right in front of me because my mind is always somewhere else, wanting more, thinking about how I need more money or the latest iPhone or gadget, and I'm never fully here. And so that's why I believe creating space for no consumption is so important. To make space for silence and for boredom so that you can hear your own thoughts and they're not being pulled in thousands of different directions. Because it's only in those moments when your mind clears, ideas surface, and you begin to reconnect with what truly matters. And lastly, the third reason I choose a boring life is because discipline equals freedom. There's a quote I like that says nothing is more pleasant than self-control and nothing is more painful than a lack of it. Because let's think about it, is there anything more painful than wanting to stop doing something but not being able to? I remember so clearly the feeling of being trapped by my own habits. I'd planned to focus on work, but I would get distracted by my phone for hours. I hated how my body felt and I had such little energy, but yet I kept eating the foods that didn't serve me. I wanted to build a business and take action on my goals, but yet time and time again I would get distracted, feel unmotivated and make excuses. And looking back, I can see that I wasn't really in control of my own life, but I was being driven by my impulses, my thoughts, and my feelings. Epictetus said it perfectly: no man is free who is not a master of himself. Because self-control isn't about restriction, but it's about power. It gives you the power to make a choice and to say no to the things that don't serve you. It allows you to take action on what matters instead of what feels good in the moment. And so that's why I choose to live a simple and boring life. Because I have goals and dreams I care about, and in order to reach them, I need to be healthy, clear-minded, and focused. Because I know those things are going to bring me much more fulfillment than any temporary pleasure ever could. And so for me, that meant giving up short-term comforts in order to gain long-term peace. And so the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to build the life you want? Click here to learn how I cut my screen time by 80%, and I hope this video made you think. All the best.